Hi, IMS families, and welcome to our virtual curriculum night. I wish we could be doing this in person, but here we are. So thanks for listening. You're here to hear about 8th grade science, and best way to contact me would be jessica.warnick@mercerislandschools.org. I check email frequently, so feel free to contact me there. A little bit about me. I grew up in Virginia. I got my bachelor's in science in geology at a small school in upstate New York called Union College, and I then went to UVA, go Hoos, and got my master's in science teaching. So this is my 12th year teaching, my 6th year at IMS, where I love it here. And you can see some pictures of my family, my 4-year-old daughter, my 4-month-old son. They keep me on my toes. So in Earth Science this year, your child is going to learn about all kinds of topics to do with our Earth. So we'll start with energy, we'll go into Earth and space, weather, plate tectonics and earthquakes, volcanoes and rocks, geologic time, and we'll end the year with natural resources. A little bit about our class. We really focus on inspiring curiosity. We're working on questioning right now and formulating good, strong questions to inspire that curiosity. We also really focus on developing strong problem-solving skills. So we do that through some engineering and projects. I'll talk about that in a moment. I'm really striving to form a learning community despite being virtual right now. It's really important to me that we support one another in class. And so you can see some different skills that within that learning community we're able to practice. So how we do it, what strategies do we use? So we pull from the next generation science standards and we teach in this style. So what does that mean? Well, the one that I wanted to point out or to focus on is that, we don't learn these disconnected ideas. Rather, we start each unit with a phenomena or an event, and we talk about that phenomena throughout the whole unit. So all of our little activities connect back to our phenomena to give students this thread, this kind of connected thread of these ideas, and they're not so disconnected. They're very intertwined. And you can pause and read the rest of them if you wish. So we do science and engineering. Thanks to MISF and PTSA, one of our favorite engineering projects. We use a shake table and test earthquake resistant structures. Maybe we'll get to do it this year, maybe not in the classroom, but we'll modify and we'll make it work as we go. You'll see students doing some engineering projects wherever we are, whether we go back to school or at home. Those engineering projects really help with the problem solving skills. So you'll see some of that going on. Materials. So they'll need a field notebook. They've already made this and we've already used it. They'll need a charged iPad or charged computer, whatever device they're using, something to write with, and then there will be a weekly list of items. They are common items that you should be able to find around your house, and I will always give lots and lots of options. So, if it's a ball, a sphere we need, they could use an apple or a tomato or a baseball or lots of different items that hopefully they'll be able to find something around the house. And if not, do not stress. Have them email me and I'll help them troubleshoot. A quick note about a textbook. We're not going to use a physical textbook this year. All resources are digital. Where it's appropriate for extra support, extra reading, there will be a link to our Earth Science textbook online or the CK12 online text, and that'll be linked on the Week at a Glance. I'll show you where in a moment. So in terms of grading, I'll be using standards-based grading. I've read a lot about it, studied it quite a bit, and I'm sold. I love the way it shows students understanding. And so our standards are pulled from the next gen science standards, from the disciplinary core ideas, more content, or the science and engineering practices, so skills that they are practicing and strengthening. So on Skyward, you'll see a 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 is that they're at the beginner stage. They need more to practice. It is not a bad thing to see a 1 when they're first starting to learn one of the skills or one of the content. You would expect them to be at a 1 because they haven't done it before, and so that is okay. Over time, as we continue practicing, you'll see them start to understand at higher levels. So you'll see them go to a 2. that they're approaching standard. You'll see them move to a 3. That's our goal, that they've met the standard, they get it, they understand, they can use it on their own. Sometimes they'll advance to exemplary, and sometimes they'll stay at a 3, and a 3 is fine. That's great. That's where we want everyone to be. Really important. Skyward is great, however frustrating, because it won't show just the 1, 2, 3, or 4. It also shows a percent. And so if your child is getting a 3 out of 4, which is perfect, right? A 3 is they got it. Skyward is also going to show you a 75% in some views. Ignore it. 75% means nothing when we're doing standards-based grading. So what will this look like in Skyward? You'll see a formative category and you'll see a summative category. That formative category is practice, and you'll see either a check mark or a 4, 3, 2, or 1. They are no counts. Summative, you'll see a 4, 3, 2, or 1. It will count towards the overall grade. Just because formatives are no count doesn't mean your child should ignore them and not do them. Imagine not practicing for a game or a concert or performing in a play, right? You have to have that practice before you get to the final event. And that's just like this. You have to have those formative practices before you get to that summative quiz or test or project. So those formatives are critical, even though they're no counts. 2 communication platforms. We have Schoology. That's where I'll post the week at a glance every Monday morning. I also post assignment due dates on the calendar, and I provide feedback here where appropriate. In Skyward, you'll see the grades. You'll see them updated weekly, if not more frequently. You'll see 3 categories: the formative as the check or the 1 through 4. You'll see a summative 1 through 4, and you'll also see an engagement score. So that engagement score is just a way to communicate to you whether your child is engaging in our Zoom classes or struggling with that. So a 1 is they're struggling, they're distracted by a phone or something else is going on. A 3 is they're consistently engaging, they're typing in the chat, they're talking in a breakout room, etc. This is our week at a glance. It's a great tool. Everything is right here for them. They don't have to go to different folders on Schoology. They come here and this is it. So you'll see Zoom links here. My office hour links are there, and each class period has their Zoom link. You'll see materials needed, learning standards. They're pretty word heavy, but they're there if they're curious. I break those down into more friendly language in the learning targets for our week. And then you can see our Zoom sessions, the agenda, what I'm expecting and how they can share their learning. Each task is spelled out here. You can see the amount of time it should be taking. A link to the task is right here in the blue underlined hyperlink. And I also want to make it really clear where they should submit it. So I always tell them submit and what assignment to submit it to on Schoology, or how they would submit their learning. So a couple closing thoughts. If you want to support your child at home in becoming that independent learner, you can encourage them and maybe check the week at a glance with them. You can also encourage your child to come in for our office hours. I'm there every day, 2:30 to 3. I'd love to see them, even if they just want to come in and say hey or tell me how they're doing. I would love to hear from them. I miss getting that in the classroom. So really encourage them to come for those office hours. So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to what 8th grade science is all about. Again, please reach out with any questions you may have. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thanks.